So when I'm saying enterprise information architecture or EIA, again, it's all about the data, the right data, the business context of it, what it means, working closely with the governance side, right? But information architecture, how you came across, it's more, to my understanding, I'm not an expert, but like you said, it's more about the UX and how can I make it a smooth user experience because I'm putting the right information in the right place where the eye will fall and they can easily get what they need out of that web
Yeah.
page, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that again, different the data architecture, at least in the way that I described it.
Yeah. And the common denominator here is perhaps, well, there's many, but one is strategy. The fact that we're trying to use these assets, information
Mm,
and data being, very intimately related, both intangible forms of assets to try and help the business, do thrive really, like reduce risk, improve efficiency, grow. So what is how does an enterprise or an organization come to the conclusion that they need to hire specifically information architects? What are the sort of problems that bubble up that are red flags to start hiring for these folks?
Typically, you have a need to focus more on that enterprise information architecture, the way I described it, when, for example, implementing big solutions and cross systems things break. Things break because sometimes what downstream expects from upstream is different. How they understand it, what upstream thinks they give to downstream is different than what downstream thinks they get from upstream. Again, not speaking the common language. Or when we're really trying to simplify and streamline
Yeah.
that end-to-end flow. See, a lot of what's happening right in organizations, I think it's still the case so often. We're very project minded. So we have a project, we have a scope, we do that, and we tend to forget, hey, 2, 3 steps down the flow of things. Someone actually might need data that I should be capturing now. Yeah, it's not in the scope, but they might need it. I may be capturing, for example, some information about a customer or about a supplier, and I absolutely capture the absolute, minimum what I need for here from me now. But when I'm looking at end-to-end flow, it could be another business process that outside of the scope of this implementation project that really need data points. For example, shipping address, and I'm making this up, but just as an example,
Yeah.
shipping address maybe, hey, we're not capturing it. We're only capturing for this customer their name, maybe a billing address, some other information, no shipping address. And we're not shipping them anything. We have to go through the order first. There's a whole lot of other things, invoicing happening, and then the time comes to ship product.
Hmm.
And we then possibly find out, hey, I don't have a shipping address, or I have it in some cases, not in others, because it's not something that it's validated as part of process, right? So when I'm looking at the end-to-end flow of things, because I'm trying to understand the data within business context and within business process, the other focus from an enterprise information architecture perspective is to understand that, is there anything else that you could be capturing now? Or is what I'm capturing here right now, the way we understand it within the scope of our project, is that how the downstream process of the downstream system also thinks about it? Because it's not just about us building it and then writing a technical interface to transfer the data, right? And then they get it in, but the name, the label might be the same, but what it really means and how the downstream process and the enabling technology for that process uses it is different. So again, from an EIA perspective, we really focus on try to understand the end-to-end impact of things.
Hmm.
While we're doing that, we're also trying to streamline the flow of things. So if I go from A to Z, if I can go A to Z, great. But I definitely want to avoid going A to B to C to D to E all the way to Z, right? And you
Indeed.
do not get that kind of understanding unless we take the time to really, for what we build right now, how does that fit in the ecosystem? And because otherwise things are getting developed piecemeal almost, right?
Yes.
And you just lose taking a step back. It's almost like you don't see the forest from the trees, you know. You're
Yes.
looking at this tree and you're looking at this tree and you're looking at this tree, and you need to see the forest from the trees and see what's the right path to get to the other end of the forest, right? So those are key components of what an enterprise information architect will also be bringing to the table, highlighting and making sure that collaboratively with the business stakeholders and the technical stakeholders, we work to understand that, hey, what we're architecting here, that's going then to feed detailed design and build, is right, and considers that end-to-end picture and the downstream impacts